Like winter concerts and things of that nature? Like concerts? No concerts.
No concerts.
Okay,
no.
but you play in parades.
Well, we got together, I guess, for ROTC every Thursday, I think it was, and sometimes we'd march down to Lincoln Park.
Now, how did you decide on that, by the way, Dad? You joined ROTC in college.
Yeah, how did I decide on
Yeah,
that?
how'd that go?
Well, it was required, so I had no choice.
And was it
But
only...
the choice came after your second year as
Okay.
to whether you want to go to advanced ROTC, and my answer was yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was Army ROTC, right? Did you have it?
Army ROTC.
Did you have the opportunity for any other ROTC, or was that the one that was pretty much...
St. Peter's is a very small school.
Okay.
No other opportunities.
All right. What else do you remember about St. Peter's? Anything else specific?
Well, getting back to the ROTC,
Yeah.
we had a very aggressive cadre member, Captain Nelson H. Smith, and his good buddy, Captain Dextrays. And they were always, I guess, looking out for what could enhance their careers. So Captain Smith decided he was going to form a national ROTC band association. And so he did, and he decided that there should be a competition at Camp Kilmer each year.
Where's Camp Kilmer?
Up in off New Brunswick somewhere.
Edison, New Jersey, I think,
Edison, yeah. So I think we had a couple of those, and in my senior year, I was the national commander of the National ROTC Band Association. Sounds very impressive.
Johnny, big time.
Not that big.
That's good. And
So I still remember the commanding general at Kilmer was General Alger, two-star general.
And so, just as context, are we yet at Vietnam War or no?
Well, the Vietnam War actually started in 64, 65, I think.
So what are we talking right now? This is still in the 50s, right?
No.
When was When was your ROTC?
When I was in college, 59 to 63.
Okay, so it's right before the Vietnam War.
One thing I want to point out at this National ROTC Band Association competition continued after I left, and after Captain Smith left, Captain Dextrays took it over. And where do you think the competition was in 1964?
Where?
At the New York World's Fair. I said, holy cow, hitting the big time.
That's
And they had about 12, 13 schools that came.
That's fantastic.
It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
That is incredible. That's a great memory. All right, so you graduate from St. Peter's in, what'd you say, what year, 63?
63, yeah.
All right, and what did we do then?
Went to graduate school at Fordham on an NDEA, National Defense Education Act fellowship, which paid all of my tuition expenses, plus gave me $2,000 the first year, $2,200 the second year, and $2,400 the third year. So I was there for 3 years at Fordham. I earned my master's degree after a year and a half, and went on and continued my coursework for the PhD for another year and a half.
Did you meet any ladies during this period of time?
Yeah, I met my wife.
Look at that! Look at that!
Yes, this was early in about 1 month after I got to Fordham. Turned out that the classmate of mine, Paul Kuhn, who graduated from St. Peter's with me and went to Fordham and moved into the same boarding house as I did, had a roommate, a classmate, Mary B. Schulte, who was very socially minded and was in a house with 3 other girls, of which one was Rosemary Camara.
Oh.
And so after class, we all get together for, the classes were usually from 4:30 till 6:10 at night, and after that we go into the cafeteria and have dinner and chit-chat. And
What do you remember about her? What were some of your first memories?
about Mommy?
Yeah.
Just that, she was an easy person to talk to, and, we had some great conversations, and the funny part was at the first social, I danced with Mary B, and then I also took out to the movies one of the other girls, Sharon, and then I finally realized that Rosemary was the one I wanted to date and be married to.
Wow. And
So
so
one day in January of our first year in school, I'd always walk her home to our house, and
where was that?
just off of Bedford Boulevard on, I forget the name of the street. I was on Bainbridge and she was one street over.
Okay.
And, we were getting pretty chummy at this point. I had met her parents, she had not met mine. I had gotten some haircut from her Uncle Frank, who was a barber. And so January came, and it was snowing one night, and we were at her place. And I said, I think we ought to get married.
Look at you, Mr. Suave.
And she didn't disagree.
Yeah.
And the next day we saw each other, and she said, "Did you really mean what you said last night?" So I said, "Yes."
Had she said yes the night before, or how did that?
No, well, I don't know if she used the word yes, but she.
It was definitely not no.
That's right. She used a word which was synonymous with yes.
Right. And I bet you she.
And I was happy as a clam.
I bet you were both ecstatic. Bet you were both ecstatic.
Yeah.
And so wait, I interrupted you. What happened the next day?
Oh, the next day when she saw me, she said, "Do you really mean what you said last night?" So I said, "Yes, I did." And so we were now unofficially engaged, and that was January, and we became officially engaged in August.
So how old were you
when
at
she
the time?
got her ring?
How old were you?
Well, I guess I had just turned 22.
Okay.
Yeah, just turned 22.
And she was a month behind you, right?
Yeah, she was a month younger, yeah. That was December 21st. She was January 18th.
All right. And so from that, when did you end up getting married?
We got married on June 26, 1963. We were both 23 years old at the time. And
now just a quick...
by this time, she had left Fordham. She had not gotten her master's degree because she never took her comprehensives. But she got a job teaching French at South High School out in Valley Stream, Long Island. And so every Friday when she was finished with school, she lived in a boarding house out there with a very nice lady. And on her way home, she would pick me up at Fordham, and we would drive back to Nutley and Bloomfield. And one day...
Well, what was Nutley? What was Nutley? Because I don't think we brought up Nutley yet. What was Nutley for? Because I don't think you said...
Oh, Nutley was where Rosemary lived with her parents.
Okay.
Yeah. And Bloomfield is where I live with mine.
Yeah.
And one day I got in the car and she wanted me to drive, so I drove, and we got to the George Washington Bridge, and all of a sudden the car stopped. I said, "What the hell happened here?" So I looked at the gas gauge and it was on 0. I said, "Oh my God, Rosemary, you didn't get gas." So they're very efficient on the George Washington Bridge. It wasn't 2 minutes before I had a tow truck behind me shoving me off the bridge and into a gas station.
Not literally off the bridge.
And into a gas station, and then the guy just took off. It's like he did this every day. Had to bail out another idiot.
Probably did do it every day. So where did you get married?
Got married at St. Mary's Church in Nutley, which was her hometown. Got married. The priest who married us turned out to be a cousin of a classmate of mine from Regis, Bob Purcell.
Oh. And was there a reception?
Father Hennessy.
Was there a reception?
There certainly was. There certainly was. Rosemary was only child, and her father and mother are going to go the whole 9 yards. So our reception was in West Orange at the Bow and Arrow Manor, which I'm sure you recognize as a first-class institution. We had an hour's worth of hors d'oeuvres and drinks, cocktails outside, on a beautiful, bright, sunny day, and it was amazing. And then we had a nice dinner inside. I said hello to all the relatives on both sides, and at 5 o'clock we said, "See ya." The wedding was at 10. The reception started at 12. The inside was from 1 to 5. And then, just like they always do, you wave goodbye and you get in the car and you go off to your honeymoon.
Who was, you said your best man was Leo Timon.
Leo Timon.
Who was the maid of honor for Mommy?
her cousin Peggy Jance, who
Peggy
was
Jance.
17 years old at the time.
Who is my godmother
There you go.
by reckoning with, which I
Yep.
guess is traditional, right?
Right.
Let's just really quick say, so mommy was an only child as well, right?
We were both only children, yep.
She was Rosemary Jane Camara.
Rosemary Jane Camara.
And where did she go to grammar school, high school, and college?
I know she went to Holy Family in Nutley, but she also, because her parents moved a couple of times during that period, she also went to
Where's Holy Family, by the way?
Ursuline Academy in the Bronx, I think, for just 1 year.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if she ever went to St. Mary's, but she graduated from Holy Family.
Which is where?
Which is a Filipino school, by the way.
Look at that. Where from where? Is it
In
Bronx?
Nutley.
Oh, Nutley.
In Nutley, yeah.
And then where'd you go to college?
At this gorgeous place called Rosemont College, which is right next door to Villanova University.
All girls, right? It was all girls?
At the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's co-ed. Now they even have a graduate school.
And then she went to, as you said, Fordham for a period of time. What were her parents' names?
Frank and Josephine Camara.
Okay, Frank Camara and Josephine Jafrida Camara.
Right.
And then, of course, and she was an only child as well. So, once you were married, did you go on a honeymoon?
Yes, we did. We went to the place where all people went on their honeymoons, but nobody seems to do it anymore. I don't understand that. The Poconos.
Okay, nice.
We sat around and picked our place we wanted, and we found what we wanted. And what was the name of the place? I can't remember right now. But it was a lovely place. Had a 9-hole golf course. I won the golf championship that week.
There you go.
I swear to this day the other guy let me have it because I was a honeymooner and young. And said, I'll let this kid have
That's funny. That's funny. So where did you live?
So we had a waiter named Dog, who was over from Sweden on an exchange program for the summer. It was really great. It was a wonderful time.
That's what honeymoons are supposed to be, which is very, very nice. And so where did you live once the honeymoon was over?
After the honeymoon was over, we stopped off, of course, to see our parents on the way home, and Grandma Loeffler, in her usual way, sent us home with pot roast, red cabbage, macaroni.
Well fed.
And we shuttled off to 185 Broadway, Valley Stream, Long Island, where it was a 2-family house, and we had the second floor, and there had been quite a bit of work put in by both sets of parents, and painting and sprucing the place up. And so it was really nice, but didn't last long because Rosemary became pregnant with none other than your interviewer.
Woo! The old goat.
Yeah, it was a few years ago, wasn't it?
So
Grandma Joe said, "Oh, you're not going to have a baby out in
Valley Stream.
Valley Stream. You're going to come back." So Mommy was 7 months pregnant. Was she 7 months pregnant? We lived there for 7 months, from June to January. So she was about 7 months pregnant because she got pregnant almost immediately.
Must have been a good honeymoon.
Well, it actually, I won't go into
All right,
details.
we'll leave it at that. We'll keep this a G-rated film.
But the thing is, we came back and we lived in Belleville at Branchbrook Apartments. And
Oh, you didn't live with Grandma and Grandpa?
no,
Okay.
I lived in Branchbrook Apartments. And after you were born, we lived.
Well, at some point,
for a
am
while.
I getting ahead of myself? When did you go into the military?
I went into the military in September of 1966.
Okay, so I was
So this
born in
was 6
March of
months-
16.
Right. And we spent the summer, by the way, out in Bell Harbor.
Okay.
And it seems that Uncle Eddie and Uncle Frank hit it big at the track and paid for a summer's worth of entertainment at the shore.
Uncle Eddie was Grandma's uncle, right? Your wife's uncle.
Oh, my wife's uncle.
Yes.
Yeah, Grandma Joe.
Right.
Joe Camara's
brother. And so you spent the summer out there, and then in September, what did you end
Well,
up doing?
at this point, I had spent as much time as I could trying to get together on PhD thesis.
Okay.
I passed my comprehensives while Mommy was in labor with you. You know, I mean, I was studying for
Right,
them and
right.
took them, and I passed them. And I just got started on a thesis, and I ran a couple ideas through with one of the professors. Nothing sounded good. Meanwhile, I had already been given an extension for 3 years, ROTC, and even though I hadn't put in 1 hour of military duty, I was now a first lieutenant.
Whoa!
That's the way they did it back in those days. So I said, well, really, I can't keep this up. I have to go into the service and fulfill my military duty. So I was a armor person, armor.
Where was that?
So I had to go to 9 weeks of Armor Officer Basic at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Mommy came to visit me, I guess 2/3 of the way through. And we walked around Fort Knox, and that's where the gold depository is. So we came up to the front of the gold depository and plainly said, "Don't step one step forward." And so Mommy said, well, "I don't believe these signs." So she did, and immediately was called to task by a voice coming out of nowhere. So that was interesting. So when I got finished with my 9 weeks at Fort Knox, I had to report to Aberdeen Proving Ground for my official assignment.
Where's that?
Which was in Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland. And I was assigned to the U.S. Army Ballistic Research Laboratories. I got a job because of my economics background. Defense Secretary at the time was Robert McNamara, and he was doing cost-effectiveness studies, and so he was looking for people with economics background with a advanced degree. And I was informed of this possibility by my good friend and also an usher at my wedding, Paul Mulligan, who had been contacted by Ballistic Research Laboratories for interest. And he wrote back and said, "No, I'm getting my PhD at Duke, so I'm not ready to go in. But I have this other fellow named Richard Loeffler that might be interested." And so I wrote to Colonel Ostrom, who was the commander at the time, and didn't hear for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I got no, and before I heard, no, that's right. I got a letter back from them saying they were interested in having me and had requested my assignment to Aberdeen, but the request didn't mean I got it. So I was getting to the point where I was getting ready to go to Fort Knox for my 9 weeks, and I said, I got to know where I'm going. So at this point, you know, whereas telephone costs these days are extremely low, back then you paid for every minute, and I was calling St. Louis, where you did assignments. So the person that answered, I explained why I was calling, and she said, "That is really odd, Lieutenant, because just as we're speaking, I am doing your assignment." So I said, "Can you tell me where it's for?" So it was to Ballistic Research Laboratories, and I went, hooray! Because, I mean, most of my classmates at Fort Knox were unfortunately going to Vietnam. So I was very lucky. God was definitely looking out for Mommy and I. And by this time, she was pregnant again.
All right, we're going to hold it right there. We're going to take a short break, and we'll get right back to it.
Okay.